Well, good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here on the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, and it is Thursday, April 15th, and I'm just glad to be here. I don't know about you, but we are in the middle of the month. Can you all believe it? We are here in the middle of the month. I want to talk about something very serious this evening. I want to ask you if you've ever had deep, dark moments, and you just wondered if you were going to make your way out of those dark moments, and you didn't see the light of day. I want to talk about those kinds of situations, but then I also want to talk about the ability to spread truth and to sit in truth and the power of truth. I want to do all of those things as soon as I come right back. So if this is your first time joining, go ahead and click on the subscribe and just know that you are in for a ride this evening because you have just hopped into a vehicle where we are riding along the highway. We're reading these billboards and we're trying to interpret these billboards so that we can become better. I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
Well, I'm back again. It's April 15th. I'm Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast. If you're joining for the first time, do me a favor. Make sure that you subscribe. If you haven't done so, make sure that you click subscribe. And then after you click subscribe, please go ahead and then just click on the notification. And after you click on the notification, just make sure that you can be made aware that I am live. I've uploaded new content and all of that kind of stuff. I am in a different studio and I'm hearing feedback. So let's see. Let's see. That's better. All right. So then make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you click on the bell for notifications. Then after you click on the bell for notifications, do me a favor, you all. Make sure that you share this and let people know that what we're doing, we're here, we're hopping in this passenger, we're hopping in this vehicle because we're picking up passengers. We really are trying to become better. That's all we're trying to do. This is a channel about inspiration and motivation. So if you're just gliding by this channel and you're wondering, what is he talking about? What is that channel all about? Please just give me stop, don't leave. Give me only 1,800 seconds. That's all, just 1,800 seconds because we're going to become better. 1,800 seconds, so you're going to become better. So whatever space that you're sharing with me, whatever space you allow me to share, thank you so much for that. Thank you for sharing that space with me. Listen, we're reading quotes. Every Tuesday we show up and we read quotes from this book, Billboards to Better. We show up and we do the same thing on Thursdays. Of course, on Tuesday we read quotes from Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then on Thursdays, we will read the quotes from Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The quote for Saturday, take it, read it, let it start a conversation, let it be the source of your meditation. However, just it's all day your way. In a few moments, I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs. But I do want to go ahead and get started because it occurred to me that when I looked at the quote for today, I chuckled and I did an assessment and evaluation on the kinds of people who are in my life. Do you ever stop to evaluate the kinds of people who are in your life and you decide, all right, do I have enough of this personality type? Do I have not enough of that personality type? Have you done an assessment, an evaluation about the kind of people who are in your life? Well, this evening, this conversation just might make you do that. I'll shout out those LTTC VIPs in just a few moments, but I want to get started with the conversation because you all know how I do. Whether it's one or two or three or four, we go ahead and get started because I have to make sure every second is what? Significant. Every moment has to be meaningful and every minute really has to matter, especially when you decide to share your time and your space with me. All right, I'm going to go to the quote for, let's see, I'm going to go to the quote for the 14th. I'm going to pull up a few things though, because I have some conversations that I really want to share with you this evening, but let me read the quote for the 14th. And it says, there are many things that you can spread. There are many things that you can spread, but a lie shouldn't be one of them. There are many things that you can spread, but a lie should not be one of them. Made me wonder every time when I read this quote and I got ready for this evening's conversation, it makes me wonder, why are we more apt to share bad news than good news? And it's not just bad news that we share. It's not just bad news that people share, but if I can raise that question, exponentially, why are we more apt to spread lies than the truth? Why are we more apt to spread lies than the truth? In this day and age, when we like to fact check everybody, we like to fact check, we like to fact check the preacher and the teacher and the politician. Why don't we go the extra step of fact checking the words that come out of our mouths? So when I look at this quote is an admission for us. It's an admonition, rather, for us to be better stewards over the words that come out of our mouths. It's a reminder for us to be intentional and deliberate about the accuracy and the veracity of our words. People, when I think about lies, people have been beaten up because of lies. They've been incarcerated because of lies. And people have even been murdered because of lies. But we still spread them. Friendships have failed. Marriages have dissolved. Businesses have crumbled, all because of lies. People have lost jobs, they've lost homes, they've lost hope because of lies. So I'm thinking about this quote. The quote says, "We are more." Why are there are many things that you can spread, but a lie shouldn't be one of them. I've met people, you all, who lie so much. I've met people who lie so much until they wouldn't know the truth if it slapped them in the face. So I'll tell you all this. I'm sitting in, I'm down south, and I'm in a different setting. I'm in a country setting. So it reminds me of a lot of my country roots. So you're going to hear a lot of that stuff probably just coming out. So when I think about the fact that I've met people who lie so much until they wouldn't know the truth if it slapped them in the face, that's what we say in the country. But there are some people, you all, who lie so much until they believe their own lies. I know, oh my God, speaking of a country saying, I know people who will lie quicker than a cat will wink its eye. Have you ever heard that? But if you lie on them, they're ready to cuss you out. They are ready to cuss you out. When I was growing up, my great-grandfather would say, "You can't trust a liar." That was his bottom line. He would just say, "You can't trust a liar." And I didn't quite understand or really appreciate the severity of that lesson until I got older. Absolutely. Yeah. So those of you who are country born, you all get it. So I didn't appreciate the severity of that saying that, you can't trust a liar. But that's what my great-grandfather always said, "You can't trust a liar." So I didn't understand the severity of that quote when I was younger. But now that I'm older, what I now understand is that if people will lie to you, they'll lie on you. And I know that this might make me sound really, really rigid, but it is the truth about who I am. It takes a lot of energy for me to try to process lies. So I would much rather not even deal with the liar rather than having to process through the lies. It's too much. It takes too much energy for me to process through the lies. So I may be rigid, but I just rather not deal with the liar. And I'm not suggesting that everyone in my life tells the truth, because they don't. They don't. But what I am saying is that I already have enough liars in my life. I don't know about you. That sounds funny when I say it. I honestly already have enough liars in my life. So when I see another liar coming, my immediate response is to hold up a sign that says, "Position already filled." I don't need another liar in my life. If you want to play a different role, that's fine, but don't come into my life as a liar. Position already filled. Got enough of those. So what is my challenge for us tonight? Right, I see some of you all saying the same thing aplenty. How many of you all would be honest and say that you have liars in your life too? I'm just curious. But I don't need enough I don't need another liar. So my challenge for us tonight, you all, is this: sit in truth, stand in truth, and live in truth so much. Have you all ever heard of insect and fly repellent? My challenge for us tonight is to sit in truth so much until your life becomes a lie repellent. Because guess what? When people lie to get into your life, they will lie while they are in your life. And then they'll lie and they'll mess up your life. And then they'll lie to get out of your life. I wrote one poem. Some of you, I may read it tonight, but some of y'all have heard me read this poem. It's simply called "Goodbye." lie. I think I might read that. All right. So if you want to hear me read that one, just put that in the chat, put it in the comments, and I'll come back. I have another poem planned, but if you want to hear me read that one, put it there, and I'll come back and I'll read it. But I'm telling you, there's enough stuff that we can spread. A lie doesn't have to be one of them. All right. I see your comments. All right. I'll pick it up. I'll read it. I want to go to the quote for April 15th. I'll come back and I'll read the quote, the poem about lying. That one always sort of cracks me up. All right, let's go to the quote for April 15th. In fact, let me see if I can find that. How quickly I can find my own works. Let's see. I might be able to find it. All right, just that quickly. Yes, I can. I found it. So I'll tell you what, I'll read it because, and if the truth be told you all, so not only would my great grandfather say that, not only would he say you can't trust a liar, but this is my great grandfather who was born in 1892. He would say, I can't stand a liar. And when Granddaddy said that, he meant it. He said, I can't stand a liar. And for as much as I try to walk the walk and talk the talk of Christ, it gets to me sometimes when I almost want to say with the same resolve, I can't stand a liar. All right, so I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to read the poem that I read. It's called Goodbye Lie. And it is in my third book, Who We Once Were. It's in my third book, and it's entitled Goodbye Lie. The problem with me, as I can see, is that my name is infidelity. I know who I am. Unfortunately, that may be true, but tell me the problem now with you. The problem with her spirit is torn, and her name, well, just call her Scorn. You see who she is. Still, I say that's okay, but I haven't heard your name today. The problem with him is not just his name. He lives in misery and we call him shame. So now you're pointing out other people. You pointed out me, you pointed out her, and you pointed out him. But who's to blame for ill-gotten fame? Still, we wait to hear your name. The problem with us, and this is so true, for the longest time we've known all about you. There's nothing thrilling about your name, nothing fulfilling about your game, nothing redeeming about your type, nothing no one can believe all of your hype. The problem with you, your name is liar. You were born a lie. You lived a lie. And when you die, you will die a lie. Goodbye, lie. All right, I hope you enjoyed that one. I'm telling y'all, the truth is, when you see a liar coming, don't you turn and run the other way. Put up a sign that says no more liars allowed. Just no liars allowed. Just put that up there. It will run the people. Become a lie repellent, you all. Become a lie repeller. People will come and try to bring all kinds of stuff to your life. And I'm telling you, the one thing that I've learned as I've gotten older is a liar is not what I need. A liar is not what I need. A lie, yes, I see my mother put it in the quotes. There's one thing that I say, a lie doesn't care who tells it. It just wants to be told and it wants to be carried. All right, y'all, I could go on and on and on. Just a liar is like a piece of the puzzle that just won't fit. Don't let them into your life. All right. Okay, I got to go. I'm going to read the quote for April the 15th. And the quote for April 15th says, hang on, you all. It says, what looked like shame on the cross turned into victory in the grave. What looked like shame on the cross turned into victory in the grave. What is the backstory behind that? I want you to know that as long as there is breath in your body, your lowest, darkest, most hopeless situation can always turn around. Let me say that again. As long as there's breath in your body, your lowest, darkest, and seemingly most hopeless situation can always turn around. And this is a reminder that there is no chasm, no abyss, no proverbial black hole that is too deep or too dark for God to find you. And it is amazing to me how he finds us. He has the ability to send grace and to send hope and to send love. And those three things, grace and hope and love, they have the ability to pierce the darkness. They have the ability to endure time and navigate distance, just to bring you a simple message that better is possible. And that there is a glimmer of light even in the midst of darkness. And that there is a spark of hope in the midst of what seemed to be hopeless. And for some of us, that's all we need to know. We need to know that this is not as good as it gets. We need to know that this is not the end all be all. We need to know that I'm not going out like this. This ain't the way it's going to end. We need to know that something better is just beyond the horizon. And sometimes we can't hear that message, and we don't hear that message, and we don't have the ability to hear that message. Why? And this is not to berate or to point fingers at anybody, because we've all been there. Sometimes we don't hear it and can't hear that message. Why? Because life is crucifying us. That's why I wrote that quote about what looked like shame on the cross turned into victory in the grave. We can't hear the message of hope because it looks sometimes like life is crucifying us. And while life is crucifying us, there are thieves around us trying to steal our joy and trying to steal our hope and trying to steal our peace. Then it looks like it goes from bad to worse. And that's bad enough, because here I am in this state of being crucified, and then it seems to go from bad to worse, because now, after life has beaten us up, looks like we're ready to be put in the grave. Those are situations in life where you say, and have you all ever said things like, if it ain't one thing, it's another? Or you've said something like, I'm trying to take one step forward, but every time I take one step forward, I get knocked 2, 3, 4, 5 backwards. I know I have. I know that has been my state so many times. But one of the things that life has taught me is that when you really hit rock bottom, when you really hit the bottom, only two things can happen. Either you die or you bounce back. That is this moment of inspiration where I'm exercising so much self-control, because I almost want to jump through this screen and hug you all and shake your hands. When you hit the bottom, either you die or you bounce back. And if you are still living, that means you're on the bounce back. You're on your way up. Because when you start going up, the one thing that I know is that when you start going up, everything that was thrown on you to take you to the bottom, everything that was thrown on you is now under your feet. So one of the reasons some of us really don't realize that we're on our way up is because we were in the darkness so long. And while we were in that darkness, you all, guess what we did? We kept our eyes closed. But I want to encourage you to open your eyes. I want you to see yourself on your way up. I want you to see better in your future. And I want you to realize that you will never have a space or a place where God's grace and love can't find you. What happens when we hit rock bottom? It occurred to me when you're really on the bottom, you all, either you're going to die or you bounce back. And I wanted to encourage us tonight, because I know so many of us are going through so many different things. And it seems like we're here at rock bottom, and we're asking ourselves, how does that guy get up here every Tuesday and Thursday and hangs on to hope? It is because what I know about the bottom is that either we'll die or we'll bounce back. And as long as we're living, we are bouncing back. We're on the bounce back. We're on the ascension up. And it doesn't always feel like it. It doesn't always feel like it. And sometimes our eyes are still closed and all we see is darkness. But I want to remind you to just open your eyes and see yourself on your way up. And don't worry about those other people who counted you out, because while they were counting you out, they really didn't realize what was happening to you. They didn't realize that you were turning around in what looked like a dead or a grave situation. Don't worry about people who are ready to put on their black dresses and their black suits in hopes of walking by and seeing your lifeless body without hope and without joy. Why? Because what they still don't know, what they don't realize, is what looks like a grave to them really is a cocoon. Why, Cutler, would you say that? It's not a grave, but it's a cocoon, because while they're trying to bury the caterpillar, they have no idea that a beautiful butterfly is about to emerge. So that's what's happening. It's not a grave situation. You're still alive. It's a cocoon. And you're spinning in that cocoon. So I want to remind us today, just find an ounce of hope. Just find one good thing that happened today. Cutler, you're saying, Cutler, how do I find this ounce of hope? Just find one good thing that happened today. Just one. And know that if one good thing happened today, two good things can happen tomorrow. And if two good things can happen tomorrow, then three good things can happen the next day. I was having a conversation with a young lady earlier today. And I was having that conversation because she was sharing that she'd had a dark space in her life when she was going through some health challenges and some medical conditions. And she said it was one of the darkest moments in her life. And in what seemed like the darkest moment in her life, she said she heard, as it were, the voice of God said, "I got your hand, let's go." She said to me today, she said, "And Cutler, I don't have a whole lot to say." She said, "But the one thing I can say is this. When he grabbed my hand and said, 'Let's go,' he never let go." So she said, "I don't have a whole lot to count, but I can count the fact that he didn't let go." I got to grab a drink of tea. What am I saying? I know life gets hard. I know life gets difficult. But just count one good thing that happened today. That's all. How am I trying to inspire us tonight? How am I trying to encourage us tonight? Find one good thing that happened today. And believe that because one happened today, two can happen tomorrow. And believe that if two can happen tomorrow, three can happen the next day. All right. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next quote. We're reading, listen, you all, we're reading this book, Billboards to Better. Do you all know I wrote this book? I wrote this book, and it is amazing to me that revisiting this book, really, it has the ability to render all of these emotions and remind me that just as I was encouraged, just as I was motivated, just as I was inspired, and then when I sit in those spaces and I try to share those things with you all, I relive those experiences. So I can write about what looks like shame on the cross because I had those moments when life seemed like it was trying to crucify me. And while life was crucifying me, I was hanging between two thieves and they were trying to steal my hope and my peace and my joy. And then it was bad enough that I was beaten up on the cross. Looks like I was put in a grave. But when I hit that grave, you all, what I realized, I was able to open my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, I was still dizzy and it seemed like things were spinning around, but I wasn't in a grave. I was in a cocoon. God was preparing for the caterpillar to live, and that's what he's doing for you. Somebody asked me the other night, is this a religious channel? Well, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is just that, because I want to speak to the caterpillar in each of you and know that you're spinning. And what's about to emerge is a butterfly. You all, we're on our way up. All right. So I'm going to go to this quote for April the 16th. I got to go to this quote for April the 16th. If you all want these quotes, just pick up the book. It's on Amazon.com or gbcutler.com. Okay, I'm going to go to the quote for April the 16th. The quote for April 16th says, "Relationships are free. It's the maintenance that costs." Relationships are free. It's the maintenance that costs. Kind of like people say, salvation is free, but discipleship costs you something. So I want to read, I want to just give you the backstory when I think about that. Sometimes we can we're willing to make initial investments, but we don't realize the value or the cost until we spend time with the thing that we purchase. For example, it may be a house, it may be a car, And we came up with the money to pay. Mika G, thank you. I'm so glad that you're enjoying the book. Thank you so very much. All right. Sometimes you all, we will make an initial investment, but we don't realize the cost of the thing until we spend time with it. Like a car or house, we didn't necessarily see the years of maintenance. We didn't see the years of having to do repairs and the years of having to do the upgrades. But guess what, you all? We didn't throw the car away. We didn't throw the house away. And what am I saying? Just because we make the investment and we don't see the cost, don't throw relationships away. Not just all willy-nilly and haphazardly. Don't throw them away just because you didn't see the cost of maintaining them. I want to remind you that friendships and relationships are the same way. They're just like those houses. They're just like those cars. Don't casually throw people away just because they require more than your initial investment. Because when we meet people, we don't know the years that they're going to be in our life. We don't know the years that we are going to be in their life. What I realized, I'm not always easy to get along with. I'm not always the most agreeable. And neither are some of you. But people didn't throw us away. They didn't throw us away. That's why I say relationships are easy. It's the maintenance. It is the maintenance that costs. But here's what I want us to do. Here's what I want us to do. I want us to count our blessings for every person that we call friend. The privilege of having somebody that you can call friend is not one to be understated. And once you count your blessings for everybody that you call friend, then I want you to try to be the best possible friend that you can be. Because just as you are doing the work to pay, just as you're doing the work to pay for the cost of maintaining relationships and friendships, someone else is doing that for us. They're saying, you know what? That brother is worth having in my life. That sister is worth having in my life. So they're paying the cost of what it means to maintain. And by that, what do I mean, Cutler? I mean, they're staying in touch. They're reaching out. They're doing what we say at the end of this broadcast. They're maintaining connectivity. They build a life. They build community. They involve you in it. The foundation of their life, they make sure that your bricks and your imprints are all in it. That is the cost of including you in what they are building. So then we do the same thing. And so we don't casually throw them away. And I know I walk us through those moments and those times ever so often when I say, hey, we get a chance to eject the bricks. Yes, we get a chance to eject who we call friends. Count your blessings every single day. All right. Listen, I want to thank you all for sharing this space. Someone said to me, they said, you know, I wonder when you're talking, I wonder if you're going to throw out some words that will cause me to stop and just sit there and listen. Friendship is a word that makes me stop every single time I hear it, because I count my blessings and I count it an honor, not just only to have friends, but to be considered a friend. All right. Listen, I want to say thank you all. I want to say thank you all. Yes. So you all, I think we've already said hi to my friend, Jay Forbes. Listen, by the way, listen, man, I'm not too far from you. You get that. You'll understand what it is. Listen, thank you. And the whole family. And I know when you join, you must have the whole family. But thank you all so much for sharing this space with me this evening. Whether it's your living room, your dining room, your front porch, your back porch, listen, out in the yard, wherever it is, I'm so thankful. And as I think about the whole notion of what looked like shame on the cross turned into victory in the grave, I want to close out by reading one more poem. And you can imagine the relationship when you hear this poem. The title of it is The Third Day. That's how we're going to go out tonight, all right? The third day, a 3-day transport along a corridor to new life. 3 days to realize that I am more like Christ than I ever hoped to be. 3 days of introspection, reflection, and thought collection. 3 days of self-inspection that leads to my resurrection. On day one, it knocked me to my knees, nailed down my nerves, pierced me with paralysis, crucified my crying heart, gambled for my goods, and laid my limp, lean, lifeless being in a borrowed bed. Day one. On day two, I saw no darkness, no light, no black, no white, no one, yet everyone that I had met while meandering mindlessly along a motionless, timeless continuum. Then I met the demons of my past and I crumbled like a delicate, brittle, antique image of an age-old aristocrat. I crumbled, I crouched, I cried in sorrow, wondering if tomorrow would be my friend. Still, I waited in anticipation, hoping to reverse the situation, hesitation, intimidation, verification, all positive reaffirmation of my indiscrimination as I lay. Day 2. On day 3, in the midst of agonizing shame, I heard someone powerfully call my name, and suddenly nothing was ever the same. Thunder and lightning began to roar. 1,000 oceans and even more roared with splendor as darkness gave way to light. I'm telling you, y'all, this is about being on your way up out of that cocoon. It looked like a grave to some, but it was just a cocoon for you. And the demons of my past all took flight, and the angels of my future had come to this place to loosen my shrouds and renew my faith, to empower my soul to re-enter the race, to mend my heart and give me more grace. I told you grace would find you wherever you are. Grace to comfort an undying heart. Grace to be thankful for a new start. Grace to make a conscious decision. Grace to complete my whole life's mission. When I hit the bottom, that wasn't it. I told you either you die or you bounce back up. I had grace to complete my whole life's mission in just 3 days. Resurrection, mission, and then grace to unpredictably ascend. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. Just know that I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday. We're reading these billboards. We're trying to get better. We are inviting passengers to come along with us. Slowly but surely, this vehicle is filling up. And once this vehicle fills up, we're going to get another one and start a whole caravan on this highway reading these billboards together. Thank you all so much. Have a fantastic weekend. And please know, until we meet here next Tuesday, continue building community. Let's maintain connectivity. Keep your heads up. Keep your hopes up. Stay safe and stay sane. I get part 2 of my vaccination tomorrow, so I'm doing my part to stay safe. All right. From my heart to yours, please know that there is much love. Good night, everybody.